Hello, this is Malorian, and this will be part of the Orc tactical team. But what it's actually going to be talking about this time is supporting your community and just how important it is. So this weekend here, I was stuck up here in Fort McMurray, 500 kilometers away from my family. I was up here for a Christmas party, and I thought, you know what, I might as well put on a free steamroller for all the guys up here. I mean, there's a brand new community. They're just really, most of the people are just starting to get into it, and most of them have no idea even what a steamroller is. They've only played friendly games, and they don't know how things change for the steamroller. And I think this is something big that, I mean, this isn't a video about Privateer Press. This is just about how you need to support your community. And of course, when you're a new player coming in, it's the reverse. You really need these other people that are there, that are willing to take the time to explain the game, do the demos, and get you pumped up to, you know what, this game is awesome, the army you picked is awesome, and, you know, let's just work on it, right? Like, hey, you got this model here, well, how do you plan to paint it up? Yeah, that's a great scheme you're going to go with. Oh, what's your plan? Oh, that's a pretty good plan. Did you think about this tactic you can do too? Oh, okay. And it just like building it up. And because the big thing is if you don't have this, it really does die. I mean, let's be a little bit honest here that between Privateer Press and Games Workshop, it's not like they run their own tournaments anymore. It's not like they run really the larger campaigns. They all really rely on the store owners and just regular players to really to pick up their product and keep on going with it. And I mean, for us that have been in the hobby for a while, that have been playing for, God, who knows how many years, you've seen the different campaigns, you've seen this different stuff, it's so important for us to take that next step up and actually do our part. In this thing here, I mean, I did very little apart from bringing up some boards and terrain, setting up some missions, and just running a simple tournament, right? 8 people, I just give them their matchups, I explain how it works, go. In the end, you know, I just gave out like a little $25 gift certificate, which, I mean, to somebody that's already established, has, you know, they're working on a mortgage and things, that means nothing, right? $25 out of my hobby budget is nothing. However, when you got these people, it's like, wow, this is actually a tournament, and it's actually a big event, right? It means so much. And I've heard from so many people saying, like, oh man, interest is totally dying in my area. I don't know what to do. And I keep on trying to suggest to them, just bring it up yourself, right? If you just sit back and hope it's not going to, or hope that somebody else is going to do it for you, you know, it's just not going to happen. Just go out there and do it. And, you know, at this point here, for this one here, we ran it at a store. But, you know what, it doesn't need to be at another store. You don't need to rent a big hall or anything. This is something where you can just arrange this at your own house. Just say, hey, you know, let's get 4 or 6 people together. I'll set up a little bit of stuff at my house. Boom, we'll have some games, a round robin. Done. It's so easy, and it's something that people look forward to and build them on the hobby, right? So that not only after you announce it, there's the build-up where people are thinking about, man, what am I going to do for my list? Maybe I should try this and this and this. It's a thing where after you're done, they're already thinking about next time, like, oh man, yeah, you know, like this thing didn't work out for me, but man, I'd love to try this for the next one, right? And it just builds off it, one to the next to the next. And it does take a little bit of creativity. I mean, you can't just walk out there and do a regular bog standard tournament time after time again. You're going to have to put some thought into doing some different scenarios and switching up terrain and stuff. But really, it's just needing to go and do that. And I guess the real thing that comes back, I mean, sure, you feel really good that you went and you volunteered and you gave back to the community, but the biggest thing you get for yourself is just not seeing your hobby die. And I'm sure there's so many games and things that we've played in the past that has just died because it got no support. I know one thing I was really into was a card game called Wildstorm. This card game had various superheroes, and they would battle each other type thing with the way that you do the cards. And you know, I would play with a couple of my friends, but nobody really organized events, nobody really did anything with it, and it just died. And eventually, after not playing any games for years and years, I just threw binders of cards away. The same thing went for this other game called Rage. This was one where you had werewolves. And I mean, me and my brothers played it for a little bit, and then interest waned, and it just went away. And again, just cards thrown in the garbage. So, I mean, obviously, like I said, if you're a new player walking into it, probably one of the things you could do actually to do your part is actually say, like, look out there and ask, all right, well, who's, if it's a press ganger for Privateer Press, who's my press ganger for this area? Or asking around, like, oh, what type of different shops are here? What type of different tournaments are being run? And then going and actually emailing them, oh, what's your next event? Because you know what, if there's one thing that's going to help organizers keep on going, is people showing interest into what they're actually doing. You know, if I have it, so I have 10 people emailing me going, oh, Brian, when are you going to organize a 40K tournament? Well, you know what? Normally I don't do 40K tournaments except for once a year, but if I have interest, I'll probably go organize something again. And of course, like I said on the other part, if you are the person that's already in the hobby, just making sure you keep it up and do your thing. So, nothing really long here. It's not like it's super deep, like, whoa, that's so crazy. But just to really go out and say, if you want the hobby to survive, you have to support it, and you have to keep it new and exciting. Only last thing I want to say about this is that if you are arranging one of these events, you have to also walk the very thin line of not being seen as taking advantage of the tournament and the whole whatever campaign you're putting together. For my part, I mean, I always say that I'm only playing in the event if it's odd numbers just to make it actually work. But like, for example, for this one here, I made sure to take not my best army, not one that's going to go out there and just destroy all the new players, just something that's based off of one of the starter boxes. I made sure with this list here with Striker and all these little shooting jacks and stuff that I had very little close combat power. That, you know, of course, if somebody disengages me, I'm in big trouble. And with scenario play where I have to go up and engage, it's not going to probably do that well as long as they also come towards me. And it's just one of those things you really need to do, because of course, if you go these set up these tournaments, say like, oh yeah, if you're new to the hobby, come on out and this is this free new tournament, and then you just crush everybody. Well, they're not going to want to come back, right? Then there'll be that feeling that you just set up this tournament so you can kill everybody. So there you go, just a really fast thing. And you know, if you have any thoughts of, man, you know, maybe I could be doing this for the community, or if you have some ideas for other people, if you're already running events, you know, please feel free, put the comments down below, and let's all try and do something together just to keep this going and keep